Hi, this is PR Frank, and today we're continuing our study of HTML and CSS by using a text editor called Brackets. And today's study is tables. Now, tables are used to display information that you might want to display in a chart or an organized format of categories. So if I go over to W3 Schools, you can see an example of this right here. So this is the table. You can see company, contact, country, and it shows you all of those things under each one of those categories. And this one even has every other row highlighted, which is handy. So let's take a look at how to do this. I can even show you how to do every other row colored at the end of this tutorial. So here's a little history. In the earlier days of the internet, people used to create entire websites based on tables. Instead of using the box model, which we studied in another video tutorial, they would just lay out a table and all the information for the website would be organized. It would kind of force that information to reside in these different boxes. Well, now that's really frowned upon. And if you're going to put a table tag or a table in your HTML document, it should have information in it, much like you would organize information into a table with rows and columns. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down here and perhaps in this paragraph here, we'll just replace this entire paragraph of placeholder text with a table tag. Okay, there it is, table, right? Give ourselves a little space in between. Now a table begins with this table row tag, TR. Okay, and it's all organized into these rows. However many rows you want, you're going to put that TR tag. And then inside of each TR tag is a TD tag, and that stands for table data or table detail, some people say. And we need to think of what we're going to make this table about. Let's make it about the different breeds of dogs. So in the first row, first column, we're going to write breed. And let's think of a couple of other categories here for dogs. We'll make a few more columns. So that's what we've done. We've added 2 more columns. So this is 3 columns wide. And the second one can be size. And maybe the third one is the personality. Very good. So we've got breed, size, personality. Now we need another few rows here. We're going to copy that first row and just paste it. So now we have 4 rows, 3 columns in our table. And we just have to change the detail or the data in each one of these rows. So this first TD tag in this row corresponds with the first TD tag in this row, this row, and this row. So if we're going to write breeds, we have to list them here. So we'll do retriever. That's a popular one. The size of that dog is large, usually. Personality, I would say friendly. The next breed can be Chihuahua. Size, of course, is small. And personality is, let's say, territorial. And then for the 4th row, which is the 3rd row of data, the breed can be Beagle. Size is medium. And personality, energetic. All right. So now we have all of our data of breed, size, personality for 3 different dogs. Let's see how this table looks in our document. I'm going to save this, come over here, and as you can see, there's some information, and it's sort of organized into 3 columns, but it doesn't look much like a table right now. So we're going to work in some CSS to make it look more like what we'd expect a table to look like. So we go over our CSS, and all the way down the bottom, we're going to target our table tag. We're also going to target our table row and our table data tags as well with this. We're going to add border. And it's just going to be a simple 1 pixel solid black border. So if we save and we go over and look at it, we can see now that there are borders around it. But there's this weird thing. By default, there is some space in between each column and row. So the borders are not collapsed, as they say. So we're going to add that as well. So we come down here and we're going to choose border collapse. There it is. And the property is also collapse. And you'll see that what it's done is it's collapsed our borders. Now it looks like a table. But a typical table, the first row, which is the column headings, would be different looking. So you can tell, oh, these are the categories and then this is the data in between. So let's take a look at how we're going to change that. What we do is we come back into our index Instead of in our first row having table data tags, we're going to change those to TH for table header. And if we save it and look at it, we can see now that, yes, they're different. They look different. They're bold and they're centered, but then we've missed our borders. And that's because in our CSS, we also need to add the table header to this set of styles. Now that's great. It's just highlighted. So there. Now, it sure would be nice to have a little space in there. Everything's kind of squished up based on the size of the word in each one, but we can make that standardized. We can go down here and we can target the TD only, the table data, and we can say, hey, give us a width of each one of those of, let's say, 150 pixels. And then when we go look at it, we can see that it's nicely sized and spaced out now. Now, there are other options that you can use with tables, and let's go back over to W3 Schools and take a look at what those are. Sometimes you're going to want to span some columns, and here's some examples of how that works. Let me just click on Try It Yourself, and you can see what they've done here is they've taken these two columns in the first table header, and they've combined them together into just one long cell. And the way they did that is over here. If you can see what they've done here, it's an inline style here. In the second header, table header tag, they put this call span attribute, and they put the value of 2 in there. What that means is this telephone table header will span 2 columns. And then it gets kind of tricky because down here you still have to have 3 columns to accommodate the 2 that you made into 1. So what they did is they put a telephone number in each one of those, and that's what it ends up looking like. So that's how you can span more than one column. Okay. The other thing they did at the top of this page is they did in every other row. If I click on Try It Yourself, you can see the code. They used this. This is a pseudo class called nthchild, and they just defined it as even and gave it a background color so that every even numbered row is now going to be colored gray, which is this hexadecimal color code straight Ds. All right. So I hope that gives you kind of an insight into how to create tables in HTML using a little CSS to style it. I think if you just refer to W3 Schools and experiment with it, you can use tables in a very powerful way within your website. All right, good luck.